The country of Suriname, I've got to admit, and I think I said this on K-1 Battlecast several episodes ago, that before I started commentating K-1, I had no idea a country named Suriname even existed. Then when I started to find out about guys like Ernesto Hoost, Tyrone Spong, Melvin Manoff, Remy Bonjaski, they all originally hailed from a part of the world called Suriname, which is in South America. It is a small country that you would never ever hear about on the news or on anywhere else. But in the kickboxing world, they are a powerhouse scene. They've produced so many great stars.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good information you give us.
And this man, Jahfaro GEZIUS, trained by Big Mike Pasanier out of Big Mike's gym in the Netherlands. 8-2 record for GEZIUS. And he will take on Teo MIKELIĆ from Croatia. Big Mike Pasanier will be in Tokyo next weekend, July 7, for the K-1 World Max, as his charge, Stojan Koprivlensky, takes on Poturak. That pay-per-view will be available to buy on Triller in 2 days' time.
Coming from Croatia, please welcome Teo MIKELIĆ.
We talked about the pedigree of Surinamese fighters. How about Croatia? They've produced their fair share of great fighters over the years, including the first ever K-1 Grand Prix champion, the late, great Branko Sikitic. Another great Croatian fighter who was K-1 World Grand Prix runner-up in 1999, Mirko Krokop Filipovic. And this is Teo MIKELIĆ. MIKELIĆ out of Punch It Gym brings a record of 22-15, a massive 10 knockouts. Waco 2012 third place bronze medalist, Combat European League champion and CK championship winner. Croatia versus Suriname. Again, two countries you would only ever expect to meet in the ring. I doubt we'll ever hear them meeting up anywhere else. Through the ropes goes Teo MIKELIќ. Suriname versus Croatia.
Introducing first fighter from the blue corner. 20 years, 75 kilograms standing, 181 centimeters tall, with 10 fights including 8 wins and 2 losses. From Suriname, Jahfaro. And his opponent fighting at the red corner, 31 year, 75 kilograms standing, 178 centimeters tall, with 37 fights including 27 wins and 10 losses. From Croatia, Teo MIKELIĆ. The judge in the ring is Mr. Henrik Martins from Croatia.
You know, folks, just a little more on Suriname. I'm just doing a quick Wikipedia here on Suriname because it is intriguing, and they do list, they say, multiple-time K-1 kickboxing world champions Ernesto Hoost and Remy Bonjaski were both born in Suriname or are of Surinamese descent. Other kickboxing world champions include Gilbert Ballantyne, there's a name, Ryan Simpson, the Diamond, Melvin Manoff, Tyrone Spong, Andy Risti, Jairzinho Rosenstrik, Rechen Erasel, and Donovan Vies. Proud Surinamese heritage. It is a very small country located in the northern part of South America. Big outside leg kick from MIKELIќ, the Croatian. GEZIUS, a front kick. You can hear Big Mike Pasanier in his corner. What is it like, Cena, to have Mike in your corner? He's very vocal. He coaches fighters through every moment of a fight.
Yeah, he's a little bit, both sides is good. You a little bit get nervous because he's Mike, and also you can get a lot of advice from him, you know.
He's a hugely imposing figure as well. There's a reason why they call Big Mike Big Mike. very intimidating. And as we mentioned on this week's episode of K1 Battlecast, the official podcast of K1, make sure you download it now on all your podcast platforms. Big Mike in the corner of Stoyan Koplovlensky on July 7 in Tokyo for the K1 Max final. They are concocting a game plan to beat the legend Buakaw, who returns to K1 Max. He last won it in 2006. He's looking to become the first ever three-time K1 Max world champion. Buakaw on July 7 in Tokyo. The pay-per-view will be available. It's currently on Stream Ticket, available to purchase. It will be on Triller TV in 2 days' time. Make sure you don't miss out on watching the K1 World Max Final with Buakaw taking on Stoyan Koplovlensky in the quarterfinals. Hands early on here from MIKELIĆ, just momentarily wobbling GEZIUS. Jumping knee from GEZIUS. MIKELIĆ looking very well put together so far, the Croatian. Inside leg kick from GEZIUS. The familiar Mike's Gym logo on the trunks of GEZIUS. The silhouetted figure with the Mongkon around the head. The Mongkon, part of the Muay Thai fighters' uniform, of course, steeped in tradition and superstition. Usually has 108 threads braided around it, a Mongkon. Part of Buddhist tradition that brings good luck, supposedly, to those who wear the Mongkon.
I see both fighters too much open, you know. They don't have good guard.
Very wide guards indeed. MIKELIČ has scored the better technique in this opening round, though. And he should take it 10-9 as he tries for a spinning heel kick right on the bell. Once again, folks, Sunday, July 7 is just a week away. And the Yoyogi Arena in Tokyo, Japan is the setting for K1 World Max. Yes, Max returns. Remember, it started with Albert Kraus winning the first. And after that, all two-time champions Masato, Sauer, Buakaw and Petrosian. It returns on July 7. Buakaw returns as the wild card. Will try to become the first ever three-time world champion. 20 years to the day since he first won it in 2004. Will the stars align? 7-7 for Buakaw again. Wouldn't that be crazy seeing it? Can you imagine we're going to see maybe next week at Buakaw at 42 years old becomes a three-time K1 Max champion?
Yeah, man, it's very, you know, it's gonna be a hell of a fight, and we will see if he can make a story.
Nice jab early on here from MIKELIČ. Front kick from GEZIUS. MIKELIČ counters off the leg kick with a straight right. Body shot. I like the crisp punching on the Croatian MIKELIČ. Left hand. Of course, it was the boxing that characterized Branko Sikitic when he won the first ever K1 World Grand Prix in 1993. If you talk to any K1 fighter from that era, you talk to Peter Ertz, who was his main training partner, you talk to Sam Greco, you talk to Stan the Man Longanides, Maurice Smith, Ernesto Hoost, they will all tell you the same thing. Branko Sikitic, arguably the hardest puncher in K1 history. Indeed, in that era, the early 90s to the mid-90s part of K1, when Branko was the king, the hardest puncher of that time. Accidental groin strike, I believe, here on GEZIUS. You can hear Big Mike Passanier, always vocal. But certainly Branko, the most famous Croatian kickboxer. You might think that Mirko Krokop holds that title, but folks, I've traveled all over the world and I ask people whenever I see them from Croatia, hey, do you know these two blokes, Branko and Mirko? And they all know Branko Sikitic. Tremendous respect for the man. Not to say they don't respect Mirko, of course they do, they love him. And his accomplishments in mixed martial arts in particular. But Branko Sikitic was the man. And his K-1 World Grand Prix win in 1993 was epic. If you've never seen it, go and watch it on YouTube later on. Overhand right from GEZIUS. I like the way that MIKELIĆ closes down that right arm by overhooking it defensively. Inside leg to the back leg. Hard one to hit there from GEZIUS.
I can hear the mics on and he say the throw the right punch, but I don't know why he don't do that.
Got to listen to Big Mike Passanier. And another thing I mentioned on K1 Battlecast this week, that if Stoyan Koprovlensky wants a chance of beating Buakaw next Sunday, the chance hangs in the words, the instructions of Big Mike.
Yeah.
He's got to listen to everything Big Mike says against Buakaw and follow it to the letter.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a PlayStation, and everything Mike says he should do it fast, because you cannot do the wrong front of the fighter like Buakaw.
As I said on K1 Battlecast, that is the key to victory for Stoyan. Lots of movement, lots of head kicks. Don't stand in the pocket, don't stand in the phone booth and go toe-to-toe with Buakaw. But no doubt Big Mike has told him all this and a whole lot more. Meanwhile, we see Big Mike's charge. GEZIUS just trying to walk down MIKELIĆ here. MIKELIќ, nice counter right hand. Jahfaro GEZIUS, 8-2. Teo MIKELIќ, 22-15 with 10 knockouts. 2 rounds down in this super fight. This is our first K1 World Grand Prix qualifying event. We've also got Sicily, Italy on July 27, the Western Europe qualifying event in Sicily. Mid-August, we go to Curitiba, Brazil for the South American qualifier. In Osaka in October, there will be another qualifying event, and it all culminates on December 14, Japan, where we will crown the first K1 World Grand Prix champion since Alistair Overeem last wore the crown in 2010. What a stud he was, Alistair Overeem. Now retired, of course. Who will ever forget his short but brutal spell in K1, those couple of years, 2009, 2010.
Last round. Time. Fight!
Remember at Dynamite 2008 when he knocked out Badahari. New Year's Eve 2009, he fought Badahari in the K1 World Grand Prix and lost to Bada by the 2 knockdown rule in their semi-final. 2010, he came out and smoked his way to winning the tournament, smoking the opposition. Incredible. And the way that he would knock out people too, the Uber knee of Ubereem. Remember when he knocked out Everton Teixeira with it, we thought Teixeira had died. The way he knocked out Dževad Poturak, the way he knocked out Ben Edwards, the way he manhandled Peter Ertz. The great Alistair Overeem. Inside thigh kick from MIKELIќ. It is an illustrious history of K1, to which we will add that chapter on December 14.
Stop!
Good right hand lead there from GEZIUS to an uppercut.
Yeah, finally he do the right job.
Right hand lead again to a short left there from GEZIUS. MIKELIќ, jab, sliding jab. The old Jack Dempsey specialty, the sliding jab. Nice right hand down the corridor there from MIKELIќ. Spinning heel kick. I've seen quite a few spinning kick techniques tonight from our heavyweights and our lighter weighted fighters. Tracking back through my memory, I think the K1 World Grand Prix was ever only won once by a spinning kick technique. Let you guys jog your memory for a moment before I remind you of who it was. It was 1996. It was the late great Andy Hoog. It was the Andy Hoog tornado kick, a turning back kick to the thigh that knocked out Mike Bernardo to win the K1 Grand Prix. for Andy Hoog. Andy Hoog, of course, a man who critics said was too short to compete in K1. Couldn't box, therefore couldn't compete in kickboxing. The smallest K1 World Grand Prix champion of all time defied his critics. Was a champion in 96 and also a runner-up, of course, in 97. Long jab there from MIKELIĆ. Final seconds of this super fight. And we are going down to the judges again here in Sarajevo. Once again, folks, if you are preparing yourself for K1 Max Finals next weekend, on the last 8 episodes of K1 Battlecast, the official podcast of K1, we have deep dived into every K1 Max entrant, from Poturak to Koprivlensky to Zora Kopyan and Dengue Silva at 190 centimeters, the tallest fighter in K1 Max history. Daryl Verdonk and Kasper Mężczyński of Poland, all of them. Make sure you download K1 Battlecast. And the pay-per-view will be available on Triller in a couple of days' time. It is already available on Stream Ticket. I think that Teo MIKELIĆ did well in this fight, the Croatian.
Yeah, I think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, by split decision, we have the winner. From the red corner, Teo MIKELIĆ!
Croatia's Teo MIKELIќ takes his record to 23-10. And for Jahfaro GEZIUS, his record now goes to 8-3. More super fights coming on later on tonight, folks, but up next it's going to be semi-final number 1.